Welcome to Behind the Sins, presented by Cinemasins.
Welcome to Behind the Sins, a weekly look at everything going on inside the world of Cinemasins. I'm Aaron Deister, and I'm joined this week by Jonathan Watkins.
Hello, hello.
And Danae Hughes.
Fellow bafflegabber?
We write for Cinemasins and TV Sins and do various other things inside the Cinemasins universe as well. Are you just now listening to the intro for the first time?
I thought you always say I'm joined by fellow bafflegabbers.
I did. What did I say?
Not that.
Oh, what did I say?
You just said, and I'm joined by Jonathan Watkins.
Sorry. Let me get it right.
Please don't look at me like I'm the one weird here.
No. I thought you were saying, I've never heard you say that before. I thought I said it. I didn't know I didn't say it.
That's how great this show is going to be. You guys, you're in for a treat.
How are my fellow bafflegabbers?
Good.
Yeah?
Very good, yeah. Hanging in there.
Yeah.
My turn. Good. Very good. Hanging in there.
Listen, let's talk about, the us in the room. We're in the room.
We're together.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
If
I'm just kidding.
I can reach over and appropriately touch those that I work with.
Thank you, Danae, for the appropriate touches.
Yeah.
Very much appreciated.
We're recording, so, this is on record.
So, welcome to our annual We All Get in the Same Room and Talk About Our Favorite Stuff from the Last Year podcast.
That is the longest title ever. But yes, that's this one.
We're selling T-shirts. Takes up 3 lines on the T-shirt. But it'll be all good. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. So we've been taking your suggestions. Thank you for those. And we're going to listen to some clips from the previous year. But before we get into that, how has what are some of your, big thoughts from the previous year with BTS? What are some of your memories of? Because we started season 2 partway into this year.
This feels short because season 2 has been kind of a short run with a new idea of doing kind of trying to get more staff on the show and sort of cycling through different people on the staff. So yeah, I have thoughts. Jonathan, do you want to go first though?
Well, yeah, that's the main thing, right? We were doing we were changing up segments and we started, I guess, how long's Ian been here? Ian's been here over a year, hadn't he?
Nope.
He hasn't?
No, it hasn't been a year.
God,
yeah.
It feels like it, man.
I know.
Feels like 10.
God.
This is where Ian edits himself into the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. This just in.
So
Fuck all of you.
So I guess, just Ian and Daniel coming on. And then with Ian, we got the whole, the nitpickers because, he takes comments way too seriously. And, and then we got to have Daniel on, and Daniel's fun to have on as well, obviously. And then I just enjoyed doing the new segments and just changing things up, bringing a little energy into the proceedings, I guess. New energy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, too. It's nice to hear other people come on and talk about the writing process from their own perspective and giving you guys a chance to kind of just hear more of what the staff is up to in the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah. I think it was really interesting to kind of shift and start kind of rotating in and out and having people, different people sit in the seats and talk about, what was going on. But it's good to get everybody's perspective, So.
I'm really curious, too, when we listen back to the clips, because there's a chance that for the first time since the show started, I won't have been involved in any of the stuff that the fans want to hear, right?
Oh, that's funny, Danae. That's really funny. Every single clip is a Danae clip. That is...
That's crazy to me. What is wrong with you people? What do you want? Oh, no.
It's hilarious.
Oh, God.
Danae's like, there's a chance I'm not even in this.
I really thought that... Oh, no. Okay. Well, that's... Okay. I purposefully...
I might be exaggerating. There may be 1 or 2 that you're not in. I'm just might be exaggerating.
Okay.
But it's pretty much every clip.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because I've not been able to be on the show. That's been another big change for me this last year is kind of going, wow, I'm doing a lot and my job requires different levels of, attention from me now than it did when I first started off as just a contract writer when this podcast started. So my time is different now. And so it's been really hard for me to step away and then try to engage back in and step away and engage back in. So I really did not expect to be on the clips, but now I'm really nervous.
I just looked through. You're not. I mean, I don't think you're on all of them.
How
but,
hilarious would it have been if he was like, I just looked through the clips.
You're
It
not
turns
in
out
any of them.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Not at all.
Nobody cares
Well,
at
that's
all.
right. That feels more right.
Should we get into it then? Should we start to listen to some of your stuff? Okay, this will be a little bit before. I think we've done kind of a countdown, and I do have a number one. It was clearly the most requested. There is a huge moment that will be the number one.
I have no idea what it is. It'll probably be crystal clear when it happens.
We know it's not when I kicked Ian off the show because that's not even been released yet as of the recording of this
Oh, yeah, that's a good
podcast.
point.
That's true. Nobody's even heard that yet. That would be hilarious if we played it as a best of. This was suggested by.
Well, it would be playing the week after, so people would have heard it.
Oh my
That's
God.
true. The
Yeah.
people who watch live would
Yeah.
That's
know
right.
it happened and would have watched it. But that's hilarious. All right, let's. But yes, for the first ones, we're just kind of go through these and just listen to them together. So this first one is called "Jonathan Wants to Live in a Nice Nursing Home."
As opposed to a disgusting one.
Apparently, yeah.
It's fun to kind of try to remember like what you were talking about.
I have no idea. Like, I don't remember this at all. I mean, I
What
would
if
like to
we-
live in a nice nursing home if I have to live in a nursing home.
Well, sure.
There are some scary ones. I used to work in
What-
medical supplies. I used to do purchasing for medical supplies. I've been to some very
I
scary
know.
and
It's
sad.
so terrifying.
Yep.
Like,
People just piled in.
ugh,
Yeah,
How funny would it be if basically I play this and it's exactly what he just
it will
said?
be.
it probably is
It will
exactly
be.
what I just said.
We're each going to talk about something else from putting together the week's content. Since I already hinted at mine, I will say, yeah, I had heard in my past from a friend who worked a job at a nursing home that our aged folks have a lot of sexual intercourse with each other when they're in their older years.
I mean,
So
I guess
I did some research, and
I've heard that somewhere
Yes.
too. I've heard that like STDs are like so
yes,
prevalent.
STDs, like
yeah.
the things that nursing homes have to stock that you wouldn't think of because they're sexually related is a really interesting thing. And this is not any kind of elder shaming, sex shaming, any kind of thing. It's
No,
just
hell
not.
no. Have fun.
Yeah, and well, honestly, if you think about it logically, it makes sense. You're at a time in your life where some of the consequences aren't as like you're not getting pregnant. Like you don't have to worry about that, and so you're towards the end of your life anyway. Like the whole have fun while you're still around kind of thing. Like it kind of makes sense. So I did some research, and yeah, there are plenty of stories of nursing home attendees who are like, yes, this is, at least 60% of our population is just bed swapping, with each other on a weekly basis. And it's just a big orgy in there. Not an orgy technically,
It's like
because
Wow.
it's not like
week,
they're
it's
all
Ted's
together.
turn.
But those are the stories is basically like,
It also sounds really friendly, right? Like they're all just into it,
Yeah.
and they're just like, I'm gonna go see
like,
Ted this
what
week.
am I
I'll
going to
see-
do with this body anymore? It's done all the things it's going to do.
that's right.
Might as well.
Is it playground?
wild.
for
Yeah, I
you?
mean,
Like,
I don't really want to get gonorrhea though. Like that doesn't sound pleasant, but I
Sure.
mean, I guess they treat you
But
immediately.
also, I'm at the end of my life, so might as well, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
Maybe not.
We're in care. They'll get to it. Let's just do all the things
I
that
just hope
I decided
my
not to do.
daughter. I just hope my daughter puts me in a nice nursing home. If that ends up being a thing that has to happen.
Has
need
to
to
happen.
put it-
I don't think it's like that, Jonathan. I don't think anybody's going to force you into their sex cult. I don't think that's what's going on at nursing homes. I think it's more of just, the opportunity.
I'll be like, hey, Kenzie, I hear that there's a lot of sex, so can you make sure it's the more attractive people or at this one I'm going to?
Oh, there you go. Very nicely done.
Something for my daughter to be proud. I said.
Yeah. Do you ever think about that, Jonathan? Like our kids are probably going to listen to our shit someday and be like, wow, mom and dad. Wow. I mean, not that you're my kid's dad.
No, I know. I mean, she does show some interest sometimes, but like she's watched a couple of videos if it's a movie she's liked or something, but she doesn't really
But
care.
right when she's 40,
Maybe. I don't
you
know.
know? And then like she comes to you and she's like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I listened to that episode of BTS and I'm fulfilling your wish. I have found the sexiest old person's home possible.
and I'm putting mom in a different one.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
I mentioned gonorrhea apparently at least twice in the BTS run because we played that clip. We were trying to test the audio.
Yeah, that was the cold open.
Oh, okay.
For that episode. That's why I was playing it. Yeah.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
Yeah. There you go. No, you're just hyper focused on gonorrhea.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to this one is just called "Let There Be Carnage: Jonathan versus Ian."
Today you really aren't going to be in one of these after he said that.
Danae, what about you?
I have nothing, but Jonathan says nothing to do with this. But if you guys want to see a good sequel, go check out Venom.
I had forgotten that we were
nicely
doing
done.
this.
Yeah.
Let There Be Carnage. It is amazeballs. And one of my favorite online critics at Galactic Dave on Twitter said,
shit.
at Galactic_Dave, right?
Yeah. Yeah, correct. Really important, that.
On Twitter said, and I quote, "This movie fucks. It is heavy metal to the MCU's soft rock." And he's so right. Did you say that?
I didn't write that.
Wow. Maybe he's trolling you. Please tweet him and let him know your thoughts. He also said that Iron Man 3 was the best Iron Man movie. He's so crazy. Once again, it's at Galactic. Oh, you know what? He's saying at Galactic Dave. We don't know.
Tweet that person.
His name is like Brian or something. See you all next week.
Very
wow.
nice.
I mean, it's a good thing I've got your chair now, Jonathan. Good luck prying it back from me.
Nice. So there you go.
So
That
tell
was
me
funny.
what just happened.
No, I don't remember.
You trolled him on.
He was making fun of me. He did something to me on Twitter. It was like a joke. I don't remember what he did, but he made fun of me on Twitter. So then that week I was on vacation, and you said, hey, do you have anything? And I was like, sure. And then that's when I came up with the idea to just
troll him.
But I did screw up the Twitter handle. But
That's
I like
okay.
I like that Danae's like, maybe he's talking about a different Galactic Dave. And you're
Yeah.
Well, it goes on. They said there's a second portion of this. So this is the
I think
continuation.
I remember what it is.
And he is at Galactic_Dave. So for Ian Whittington, Danae Hughes, a mouse with a limp biscuit, and myself, we will see you next week.
Happy Jonathan's a jerk day.
Wow, there's so much bite in that.
Oh, shit.
There you go.
I like how Ian and I had a short battle. It was fun. Ian and Daniel though is almost better if you got to be at Sin Week or if you've listened to any of the stuff from
Where the
Sin
rivalry
Week.
began.
Yeah,
So
and
good.
then it was. This is off subject, but and I know Daniel didn't mean this mean because Ian's in England and not here. But Daniel on July the 4th, he said "Happy July the 4th" to everyone except Ian on Slack, and I knew what he meant, but I was like, "Oh my god, that's so funny."
Oh man.
Screw you, Ian, and your Britishness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a chat group with Ian, and he's titled it "The Ungrateful Colonists" because it's with himself and then everybody else is in the U.S. It's great.
This next one is just called Danae Reads Jeremy's Godzilla Review. Before we go any further, we should get to everybody's new favorite portion of the program. Danae tries to keep a straight face while reading Jeremy's thoughts on a movie for the first
Oh,
time.
yeah, that's right. Oh, no.
Oh,
Yeah,
I can't wait.
I'm kind of learning that Jeremy's doing this on purpose now, so I'm really nervous about this.
Taking you a few weeks to catch on to that one, isn't it?
Well, and I didn't realize that Barrett was doing that too for a time. Oh my God, he wrote a lot.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Did
Danae,
you read it?
Danae, what did Jeremy have to say about Godzilla versus Gong?
I'm so ready.
Godzilla versus Kong. Oh no. You ever make up stories? You ever make up stories with a 5-year-old? It's infuriating. They constantly change the rules, usually in their favor, and pretend like the old rules are figments of your imagination. They mix genres, fucking around with Superman and Tron in the same universe. They rename characters willy-nilly, so Indiana Jones becomes Twiddle McGee Valentine the Cheese Master. They ignore science, physics, math, and generally all known laws of the universe. They care not for continuity. They are very likely to get bored with the story before it's done and leave you holding the bag. This is how Godzilla vs. Kong was created. You sit down and the movie opens and you're like, oh, cool, it's Skull Island. And the fucking 5-year-old says, no, it's all a giant digitized biodome like the Truman Show only with a lot more tech. And you're like, who the fuck showed the Truman Show to a toddler? But then you regroup and you're all, so this fancy tech biodome is going to be a big part of the... No! The child screams as a snot bubble forms on the left nostril. Now we're on a boat. Why am I doing this kid's voice? I don't know.
Is this a child or a witch?
Shut up. and you're like,
Okay.
I feel like I need puppets like for this one. And you're like, the kid knows Lonely Island shit too. God damn, these parents are dope. Then you pick up the boat and pretend it's sailing and you hum a little shanty tune until the kid suddenly slams a Jurassic Park T-Rex toy down on the boat and shrieks, fight! And you're thinking, this is going to be good. But then the toddler just picks up the dinosaur and throws it across the room and mumbles something about potty. You know, I'm going to pause here for a second. I have something to say. I feel like though Jeremy does not have children, he has a really strong handle on how this would actually be good. This is really good. Okay, let's go on. When you get back from going potty, you find that the 5-year-old has thrown away the boat, and now we have a giant ape on a mountain, and you ask, where is King Kong now? Mount Everest? And the kid gives that look that says, what you talking about, Willis? And you wonder, different strokes? Who is making the entertainment choices for this child? And do I need to notify some kind of authority figure or entity here? But the kid explains that Kong is inside the earth. You bring up the whole molten core thing, but the kid bats away the sneeze and laugh, explaining that inside the molten core of the earth, there is a little known area. And in that area, there are valleys and rivers and mountains and also a fucking sun somehow and magic axe in the ground that if you pick it up, it gives you the power to create more Godzillas and Kongs and stuff because this place is where all those giant creatures actually come from. And to prove it now, let's watch this T-Rex shoot his breath all the way through the earth, the molten core utopia, and then Kong and everyone else will go through the tunnel hole thing that Godzilla just created. Finally, the little shit takes a breath.
Not you or the child.
This is what was written. And you are able to interject and say, so we're back up on the surface of the earth now. And the kid says, do I have your attention? I know I do, because it's a fucker walk. And you meekly offer, actually, you messed up that Glengarry quote because it's, are you interested? I know you are because it's fucker walk. But the child screams, that character wasn't even in the original play and was only written for Baldwin after a mix-up where he thought he was going to play the Pacino role. I said piano. Just pretend I didn't say that part. And you sit back and just marvel at this little baby's filthy fucking mouth, as well as his depth of movie knowledge. Before you can compliment him, he starts throwing the T-Rex and 8-figure all over the living room, smashing picture frames, faces, lamps, windows. Kong and Godzilla are fighting, he squeals, and he smashes your grandmother's fine china. Godzilla is winning, he giggles and stomps on your dog's tail. God, this little shit. Wow. Then he runs away and you think for a minute, maybe you're free. Perhaps the child's mother is in the other room and will distract him. Maybe the kid just left and made for the Greyhound station. Honestly, you don't care at this point because you just want to leave. But just as you head for the doorway, the kid returns with a running vacuum cleaner.
That is the bit that got her. Of all of the previous bullshittery, that's the bit.
He's got a vacuum cleaner shouting,
Nope.
Mechagodzilla! And he throws the vacuum at your ultra-thin widescreen TV. The television smashes to bits and fragments of glass and plastic rain down on the floor, and the kid looks up at you and says, take that, Hong Kong. That's what you get for existing. Movie over. And he runs outside to play in traffic, and you let him because that kid is a dick.
Amazing stuff.
Oh my God,
Is that
Jeremy.
where the
Yeah.
Letterboxd account was born from?
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
God. When he used to send those in, it was so fantastic. That's definitely the best. I had totally forgotten about that.
Yeah.
What a trip that was. Just reading those without any context at all
Mhm.
and trying to like conceptualize as I'm going what Jeremy is about to say so that I can kind of like, I don't know, change how I'm going to perform it or whatever. That was a trip. And it just kept getting stranger and stranger. But once the vacuum came out, I'm like, what? Oh, his mind. There's no one like Jeremy Scott.
No one indeed. No one indeed. All right, moving on to the next clip. This comes from Elise. Thank you, Elise, for nominating this one. She says, I nominate the Sinsverse Cacophony. I did not write on anything this week. I took the week off, didn't do any work, and didn't write on a single thing. I did, however, want to do possibly the most annoying and pointless keeping tabs in the history of the podcast.
Was this based on a Slack discussion?
No. This is just based on I had nothing, and then I experienced this thing, and I was like, this thing I just experienced is terrible. I wonder if everybody else would like to experience this same thing. So this is what I'm going to share with you now is an audio keeping tabs.
Aaron Googled duty.
No. This is an audio keeping tabs of what it sounds like every week when I open up all the video files consecutively.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
Oh my God. I am so here for this.
So that this is what that sounds like. Each week when I get the email of what the videos are, I open them all up, and here's what that.
I don't even understand. What are you talking about? You open them up all up at the same time. You mean you give all separate tabs? You don't just do them one by one?
Correct. So I open up everything so that I can do my show prep, and here's what.
And they all start playing.
Here's what that sounds like.
That's kind of beautiful. That's kind of cool. I like all the narrator voices together.
Listen to all the dings.
Hey!
Oh my god. Oh my god.
There you go.
That's amazing.
Holy
That kind of reminds me of like a Marvel opening where you have all the characters saying different things. Like I want that kind of to be like the Cinemasins opening now.
Yes, let's redo it.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding. You should play that for the guys and just I'm just saying there's some version of that would
Yeah,
I think would be pretty awesome.
Well, there you go.
I feel like we have an opportunity that if my angel turned devil on my shoulder would come back for just a moment.
Yeah.
I'd really like to hear the
You had a line of sight. I can't
editor's
see
reaction
her, but
to Ashley hearing that. Ashley, what did you think of that clip?
That was an absolute nightmare. But I have 100% been in your shoes where like I turn my computer on in the morning and I go to like wake my daughter up. And all of a sudden, in the other room, I just hear like 10,000 things happening at the same time. And I can't stop it. So at this point, we have like 3 different intros that are out. And so you would get that first hit all at the same time. And then they would slowly start going off.
It's just this ding, 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 and like all the narrators at once.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the stuff of nightmares.
We did produce a second one. I don't have that one loaded up, but we did produce, I think, like a more like where they then faded out one by one too. That was kind of interesting.
You thought that was going to annoy us too. I remember because you were like surprised. We were like, "That's awesome. Let's turn this into the Cinemasins opening."
Which, by the way, Ashley was very much against.
Yes.
Just putting everyone into like an audio coma before the show starts. Like before the video goes, everyone's just completely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But the key is the offset of starting them, right?
Yeah,
Like there's
the cascade effect.
Yes, yeah.
If we did cascade it like perfectly timed, I wonder how long that video would actually run.
And you got that perfect thing in the middle where Chris is like, "Hey," like that just.
That was great.
I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better.
If we listened to a full video of that, of all the Cinemasins videos, overlayered and just dinged out, we would probably have, I don't even know how many hours of long content it would be. And you'd be hearing like Jeremy do his performative stuff sometimes where he like kind of sounds like a mixture of a really super angry Kermit the Frog. Like,
Right.
You know, like that kind of thing.
All right, next clip. This comes to us from Matthew, who says, Ian loses his job.
Maybe this is last week's.
This has happened multiple times, apparently.
Hold on, you're coming through speakers for some reason, not my headphones.
Oh, I changed your output. Sorry.
Ian,
It is 2 buttons.
Why?
We had to listen to the trailer for Strange New season 3 of Picard.
That will come through the headphones.
But I didn't want to give her a headphone. I wanted to play it out loud.
All right. Here's the lesson.
I'm sorry.
When you move something, put it back.
Put it back. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. So I can remove people from the stream as well, so they don't sass.
I can remove people from their jobs, so don't sass.
Can you?
Yeah, sure can.
Oh, no. Oh, no. So Daniel, be careful.
And when I say jobs, I mean jobs within the job. I don't mean I can literally fire you. I just mean...
Wait. You can stop me from doing BTS?
Mm-hmm. I sure can.
Oh, but I won't get peeps.
It's a pretty strong political power move right there when you don't eliminate someone from their position, but like you just make their position useless.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it really is. We haven't fired you. We just made what you do not needed anymore.
Exactly. There you go.
Yep. Listen, that one hits home.
This was when he was staying with you still.
Yeah.
I guess then he was messing with
He went into the actual physical Studio DNA studio and messed with the settings and didn't put it back where it belongs.
Oh, man. That's not okay.
Matthew says, I listened to that 5 times in a row when I heard it in the outtakes.
That's amazing.
So,
But it was a really fun dig from Daniel to kind of go deeper. Like, what an amazing position and power you have.
Yeah.
When we were at Sin Week, Daniel, who by the way, poor Daniel, he was like with us for what, like full time, like for maybe
just
a month.
few months.
And then had to, because I remember Chris even said, "This has got to be weird for you, man. Like you just came and did this like whole like fan event thing." And but he kept Daniel a couple times to me. He would say something. He'd be like, "Please don't fire me," and I'm like, "Dude, I can't fire you." So, nor do I want to.
But okay, I won't. You should have been like, just looked at him like really sternly and thoughtfully, and be like, "Okay, I won't."
All right, moving on to the next clip. This one is just called The Very First Sinpository. All right, time for a new segment. Let's move into the Sinpository.
What?
History became legend.
The past is past.
Let's look at some statistics.
To the library!
Careful, Chief. You dig up the past, all you get is dirty.
We insert ourselves deeply into the cavernous sins repository, or sinpository, if you will, as Jonathan probes the annals of sin history for a video we can reassess in both individual parts and the whole. All right, on to...
Wait!
I didn't
Hold on.
Oh, man.
We talked about this, and you went back and added so much.
There's so much more to that. Oh, wow.
Jeez.
That last line.
Yes, Jonathan, take us into the back end of the Sins archive. All right.
Oh my
so
God.
There you go.
The potential for that segment is just so great.
Mm-hmm.
It just kept going. You just kept adding more and more and more. That sum is more than a part. That is wholes. To the back end. I remember just like wanting to stop the show and just listen to that audio again. And I think after the recording of that show, as soon as we were done, we were all like, read that again. And we had you read it to us because it was just so funny.
Yeah,
but
my job's fun.
Nothing will beat that moment where you knew that none of us knew what you had planned.
Right.
Yeah.
And I knew it had a strong finish. Like, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like there's in life you'll come across like projects and stuff, and you'll need to title something, whether it's like a club that you're doing or a podcast segment or just an idea. You always try to title stuff. That's kind of how we just work as humans. I'm going to title this thing that I'm with Aaron. He will just sit there and come up with the most clever names, and it's like a gift. So over the last 10 years, I've just been like, I don't need to even think about this anymore. I'm just going to ask Aaron because he's going to come up with some like really funny stuff.
And I always say, like, if I had been born, 30 years earlier, I would have been like one of those admin, like from the 50s that did ad campaigns and, like slogans and stuff.
You would have been a madman.
Yeah.
And I was the jingle girl.
Yes, exactly.
And together we are. This is where you stop and you think of a clever title, and then you do this.
And then people are like, "Hey, honey, the jingles are fun. Can you give me some coffee?"
I say, fuck you too.
All right.
You can take the coffee and shove it.
So we got an interesting email this week that I do want to play. I think I'm going to use it for a closer. I think I'll go ahead and do the number one clip first. And then we will do this as just kind of a closer email from a fan. But let's go with the number one clip. This was suggested by Sean, Matthew, Tim. I think there were
All
four.
5 of our fans. Thank you.
And so it goes by different titles for each of them. One person called it the most horrifying story ever. One person called it the miracle of life. But we shall listen now.
Is this about childbirth?
to the most.
I will fucking leave. Is this about childbirth?
You need to take off your head. I'm just saying this is the number 5 people, and this was the best clip of the year. So here we go.
Hello, Danae.
We're just 2 dudes talking about giving birth, as is usually the
I
case.
immediately checked out. I was like, fuck.
Why? Because you're intimidated by how knowledgeable we are and how much no, that face said no. That face said stop talking immediately.
You're learning. Listen, there's just something about like the birth story that people expect you to talk about the birth story.
Yeah.
And it's fucking traumatizing shit.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to talk about birth story, Ian? Here we go.
No.
So
no,
there I was.
No, I was talking about my birth story, thank you. Doesn't mean I care about anyone else's.
Oh, I see. Okay. So what
Good
is your
Lord.
birth story? Go ahead.
I fell out. No, it was...
Well, thank you. What a way to head into this podcast face first. You know, just
well, we've breached. Now we're in.
Yeah.
Out.
I'm
Honestly,
literally fucking leaving.
No, you're not. You're not.
I will.
You won't. No, she will.
too
I'm
many
not
puns.
gonna
Do
test
your
it.
wounds hurt right now? Is your vagina hurting right now? Are you fucking having traumatic relivings of a
to get
person
us
coming
back.
out of your damn fucking crotch?
Could
Huh?
you-
Jesus.
We asked for this. we asked for this.
We deserve that.
We deserve that.
that's fine.
Totally deserve that.
How about the hips that haven't gone back into place? How about the 4 years of pain that I've been experiencing? How about the
Yep.
$10,000 I put
Yep.
into medical bills to make sure that my ass is getting better? Huh?
Yep.
How about
Yeah.
that shit?
Yes.
How about my tits that are now pointing to my goddamn toes? How about my 4.5-year-old who still wants to breastfeed and does so with her teeth sometimes because, mommy, it tastes good. You want to fucking talk about birth stories? Let's fucking go. But I'm going to be pissed about it, and you're the ones that are perpetuating this. So this is all fucking on you.
Totally agree. 100%.
Yep.
And that was gold. That'll be like the number one voted for clip on next year's like
You're
best
welcome.
of show. So, there
Did
you
you hear
go.
him? He said, "You're welcome" at the end. Yeah, that felt good.
Yeah.
My favorite part was watching. So because we're in person today and we're in a really awesome studio setup. There's like a window and then there's like a production booth on the other side where like the angel devil Ashley is there, and then this really cool producer guy Aaron is there. And I was watching them during that clip. Ashley mistakenly took a drink at one point in time, and I think she almost died. I really want to know what Aaron thinks about me now. He's super new. We'll talk about it later. But
Oh,
you know,
Aaron out there. I was confused. Like, he's not-
Aaron, producer Aaron. I'm calling you, producer Aaron. Can I talk to the angel on the shoulder for a
Sure,
second?
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Are you okay with me asking you a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
How did that make you feel? Because you have one too.
Yeah, as I have a daughter, I 100% relate to what you were talking about.
Okay. Thank you.
I do like Ian introducing, like, you came on and Ian was like, oh, we're just 2 dudes talking about childbirth.
As they do.
Yeah.
I have never been happier to not be in the same room.
That's when that happened.
When I was listening to it, I was like, oh man, poor Ian.
He can handle it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
fine.
the whole time we're just like, yep, we deserve this.
Yep,
Nope,
they were just-
yep.
And I obviously felt very bad for you. So
Me?
Well, no, mean, childbirth's a lot.
It just all comes back in waves.
I mean, my wife ours was a C-section, but even that.
Wait, hold on. Are we doing this?
No. Okay. I'm just saying, but I know the issues that even caused, so I can't imagine the other way. And plus, both of my sisters, I've heard stories, and it's rough. And every birth's different, and it's just
I
rough.
feel like there's just this strange cultural expectation that we just sort of gloss over all the hard stuff.
All
and
the
we're like,
realities of it,
it's
yeah.
the most beautiful experience that you can have because you're bringing a life into the world. And you're like, I've been turned inside out. Can we talk about me for a minute?
Yes.
So, my God.
The older you get, I don't mean this weird, but like bodies, how anything works
it's baffling.
Is insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even just the way fluids go through your body and, just anything. I mean, anything you can think of, the way we digest food. It's bizarre.
Are you high?
No. I'm just saying, it's bizarre that we keep on trucking.
Bizarre. We do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Wow. What a clip to end the show
on. And it's kind of one of those, like, I knew it when it happened, and yet part of it may be self-fulfilling prophecy, but this will be the number one voted clip by the end of the year. And just the fact that 4 people, or 5 people, I can't remember.
What were the number one clips the last couple of years? I don't remember.
Oh, man, I'd have to go back and listen.
Probably
but it's always
just
fun.
us raging, right? Like when we channel the sin gods and just like let free the rage. I think that's an exciting thing to listen to for some reason.
The blanket.
All right, so I did have one other clip I wanted to play. This comes to us.
I thought that was the number one.
That was the number one. But
this is the bonus
This is from
one.
our fan. This comes from Sophia.
Can we not? I love that you're saying this is from our fan. Who else would be writing us?
that'd be a little odd.
This is from someone who detests us deeply.
This is from someone who's never heard a single episode of the podcast.
You can get those emails.
That is true. That is true.
But how funny if it was like, heard you're doing a clip show and you just randomly email like podcasts you've never listened to with just a super random timestamp, and it's up to them to figure out what was great.
So this is a specific a clip that I would not have been able to find because it relates to the advertising that happens on our podcast. If you don't know, that advertising is often targeted, for where you live or for products, that might appeal to you. So Sophia writes, it says, "Hey, BTS, longtime listener and viewer, first-time caller. As you probably know, the commercials that go with the podcast are location-specific, and the ones in Denmark 2 weeks ago just fit so perfectly with the beginning of the episode that I felt I had to share it. I don't think I could explain it. You just have to hear it. I hope it makes you giggle."
Oh, I'm excited about this.
Thank you for a great podcast and great YouTube channels. Awkward Scandinavian Waves.
Awkward Scandinavian wave back. I don't actually, this is, I'm an American citizen, but I'm trying to do an awkward wave into Scandinavian style.
Good morning, Scandinavia. That'd be awesome.
Maybe you link pinkies and you wiggle your arms or something. Like is this an awkward Scandinavian?
I had an awkward Scandinavian wave when I had once. This is a true story. I spent
you
a
are
month.
setting up
No.
for a pun.
No, I'm
we
not.
all
I'm really
know
not.
it.
I'm not. I spent a month when I was like in 6th grade with a bunch of different countries, like 2 guys and 2 girls from each country. And the Norwegian kids just changed right at the pool. Like they didn't, because nudity is totally different in, their side of the world.
Their perception of
Their
nudity.
perception of the body and nudity and
nudity itself isn't different.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yes, the perception of it.
They have additional body parts.
The penis is coming from the hip. It's
very
weird.
odd.
It was strange.
But it helps with childbirth when it's just.
Yeah.
But there definitely was an awkward Scandinavian wave at that pool. So here we go. This is the crazy ad coincidence.
Hi, longtime listener, first time caller. Just wanted to share this with you because I thought it was hilarious. I downloaded the podcast from Denmark on the 7th of July, and this is what it sounded like with the commercial that is playing currently during the podcast.
Tasty chicken cheese, crispy kylling jeg skal spise. Tasty chicken cheese, giv mig den please. Tasty chicken cheese, kom på mærken og spis. Tasty chicken cheese.
Yeah, there was having cheese in your bottom.
Having cheese in your bottom.
Oh no! My God.
Is she? That's amazing.
Oh my God! Right into the cold open, which is cheese in your butt.
Yeah.
Does Aaron do
Oh my
commercials
God.
in Denmark?
Tasty chicken cheese.
Oh my God!
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that,
That's awesome.
Sophia.
That was amazing.
That was absolutely incredible.
Makes me want to go to Denmark and try that chicken
Try the
sandwich.
tasty
I know.
chicken cheese.
I've got it. I want to hear that commercial again so bad because there was this kind of moment in there. I'm like, It's just like it was going on.
The miracle of technology. I can play it for you again.
It's okay.
Here we go.
Oh.
Tasty chicken cheese, crispy kylling jeg skal spise. Tasty chicken cheese, giv mig den please. Tasty chicken cheese, kom på mærken og spis. Tasty chicken cheese.
He's just not the most adept singer. I mean, he's good, but it's just like tasty chicken. Like he's just not there in his voice. It's all, tasty.
It sounds like something silly we would make up.
Yeah, that's like a fake commercial.
I know, but it's not.
Nope.
God, we were missing out on so many opportunities to just make ads for people and get paid for it.
It sounded like a really bad local commercial.
It was.
Do you guys have,
That's exactly what it was, I think.
You guys have those, right? Like you guys we had this guy for the longest time. He would call him. It was a mattress store, and he was Mat Man. So he had like a cape. It was the worst.
Amazing. Well, there you go. There's the clip show for this year. Before we finish out, I do have some news that I want to let you know. This will be the last BTS for a bit. We are going on hiatus while we think about some exciting new plans that we might have in the future for the podcast. But wanted to let you know, we figured this was a fun way to kind of go out for the season and then come back with season 3, possibly at some point. So
Season trays.
Mm-hmm.
Tres leches.
That's what I almost said. But then I
That
decided
sounds
not
good.
to. It does, actually. Can I tell you something, Jonathan?
Yes.
There was a brief conversation about not telling you anything at all and just breaking it to you right now.
Why would you have done that?
Honestly, we both, I was
for
like,
the lulz.
I think that he would just be like, oh, okay. Like, I feel like it would be, but, you know.
Look, I mean, I roll with the punches. Whatever you guys want to do, or whatever you. Is that the right way to say that? I didn't mean that negative. If that sounded negative.
You mean punches negative?
Wait, it's roll with the punches, right? Or
Yeah. Or rolling with the homies.
No, that's different.
Yeah, and this is just probably going to give us more time to come up with other things and figure out interesting directions if we decide to keep doing this, I guess.
But we wanted to let you know, and we wanted to thank you for being an amazing group of fans, or random people who just throws timestamps at us that aren't fans, possibly. But we really do appreciate you and love you. And I will tell you this, going on hiatus has nothing to do with you. You guys have been absolutely amazing. So
I also, just for the record, it has nothing to do with me firing Ian last week.
it was everything to do with Danae firing
This
Ian.
has nothing to do
You don't know this,
with
but Danae and
internal
Ian
fighting.
have not talked in a week. Like, they will not talk to each other. It is really bad.
Legally, I can't because I'm writing up a document to get him fired.
It's going to make Captain's Pod awkward.
It's going to make Captain's Pod so awkward.
Going to cancel my appearance.
So leave us in your subscription feed. I think you'll be glad that you did.
Yeah, and if you want to follow for updates, obviously you know that we're on Twitter, and all of our contact information is in the description of this podcast. You can always send us emails or anything like that. We do have a newsletter that you can sign up for, but I think probably the best place, if you're able to, is to join the Cinemasins Discord, where a lot of the community shares updates, and there is a Behind the Sins channel that we will post updates for as well. So there's lots of ways to stay updated, but we're going to be leaning heavily on the fans for sharing information kind of going forward. It'll be kind of a place where for us to kind of let a couple people know, and then, you guys sort of take over in a lot of ways. And so I'm really excited about what the future looks like too. I echo everything that Aaron said. Your support means the world. We know that you filled out polls to let us know what kind of a show that you're looking forward to and the best ways that the Cinemasins staff can kind of give you what you're interested in. And we're very dedicated to that. And so we're going to spend this sort of quiet time from the show to think of even more ways to bring you guys stuff that you love.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Thank you guys. You're all amazing.
I will miss talking to both of you every week, though. That'll suck.
Yeah. And it's kind of it's appropriate that the three of us 3 years ago started, like, exactly. I mean, this is the 3rd anniversary episode.
Crazy.
3 years ago started this thing, and now we're kind of sending it on to the next chapter, whatever that looks like. So, so we're excited to see what that is.
It's going to be.
We just don't want you guys to feel like it's a Game of Thrones situation where technically you're not sure if the author is ever going to actually write the books. Like, we do have plans.
Yes. Yes.
They will be talked about soon. We're just not ready to reveal all of that just yet. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, there you go. That's going to do it for Behind the Sins. Don't forget to make sure you're subscribed and go ahead and leave a comment or rating as well. If you've got anything you want to send to us, you can do that through our P.O. Box, 881 Republic, Missouri, 65738. Hang out with us on Twitter. I'm at Aaron Dicer. He is at Sam Loomis 13, and she is at Danae Says.
DENEESAYS.
So for Jonathan Watkins, Danae Hughes, the best fans in the history of podcasts, and myself, we will see you next time.
Happy Milk Chocolate Day. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Send any feedback to bts@cinemasins.com and be sure to subscribe, rate, and comment. Find more ways to connect by visiting cinemasins.com/bts.
Ashley? God, Ashley.
Record.
God.
We're recording now.
Are you being recorded?
No.
God! We can't do
I am.
Yay!
Oh. I'm scared now.
Welcome to the show, everyone. It's Ashley.
Hi, hello. I was not prepared for that intro.
I kind of like that you have to click your mic.
Yeah.
It's so old school. It's like, click, hello.
It brings me a lot of fear.
Why?
Microphones. I went to school to be behind the camera and behind the microphone, not in front of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So this one's like eating at your soul right now. And now that you know you're recording, it's even worse.
If I hadn't known, I would not be absolutely terrified right now.
But right now that you know.
I am sweating.
That's your mic check for Jonathan.
Nice.
Anything else?
No. What would you like me to say?
No, that's great. We've been asked to do a mic check so that he can check levels. Do you have anything you want to get excited about, Jonathan?
No.
Is it going to be like one of those shows where you kick somebody off of the show because you just are feeling angry, like I did last week?
Oh, no.
No, okay.
No, I'm not
Yeah,
angry.
Danae, would you
just
like
tired.
to talk about that in the outtakes?
Aaron, can you play some audio on your laptop?
Preferably appropriate audio.
Okay. Here is some audio.
I don't really want to get gonorrhea, though. Like, that doesn't sound...
Wait, is that one of the clips from today?
Nope, just a random.
I don't even remember that. What were we talking about? What were we talking about when I made that comment?
It's a fair question, Jonathan.
I don't really want to get gonorrhea
It's just how you start every conversation.
Oh my God. I just feel like this studio reminds me so much of our first studio.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, there are certain budgetary things happening here we have yet to experience.
Correct.
But I'm looking at a TV that is taped to a chair, and I'm like, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that very well. Like our first studio, my laptop was held aloft by a once used for moving cardboard box on top of a stool, and I was sitting on a booster stool thing that we had found at like a thrift store. We had like $50 and we really needed chairs that were higher, so we went to get like counter. They're really expensive counter height chairs. So we went to this like a market, and the only ones we could afford that had a decent back and were made of like wood instead of paper were super uncomfortable. So we're like, we can do this. We can sit at these chairs. And we did.
We did.
For like a year. There's no padding. It was just straight to birch. It was like ass on wood. And then my laptop was on a tiny little stool with a cardboard box. And whenever I typed, it like bounced up and down. So I had to be really careful. And we were on my butcher table. That was like our broadcasting desk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can appreciate some ingenuity.
You still got that butcher table in your kitchen, right? Or your dining room?
I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good old butcher table. Although it's never really been used for butchering.
Well, I take comfort in that.
Me too. I should never butcher anything. Do you like
no.
ever? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do I butcher? No.
Okay. Some people are like, yeah, I just go and I get roasted chicken. I'm really bad at that. I can't.
They go and get roasted chicken,
and they consider that to be butchering because you have to like take the roasted chicken apart.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
No, I thought you were saying somebody would butcher a chicken, but you called it roasted chicken. I was very confused for a second.
Yeah, I'm a city girl. I know how to do this. No, I I had it's a carcass.
Mhm.
I don't know what to do with it very well.
Often when you get cut off on the highway, there's a carcass as well. Insert cricket noises here. I love the podcast audience won't get the visual of Danae slowly taking a sip of her coffee.
Guys, I'm on 10, 11 years with this man and his puns.
Yeah.
So what are we?
We're in the same room.
Yeah. Are we starting the podcast now?
I mean, we're chatting. We're giving outtake possibilities to our editor.
I know you were busy a minute ago.
Uh-huh.
But you missed that Jonathan has single-handedly done all the outtakes this episode.
No, I was aware of that.
Jonathan, how do you feel about that?
Good, I guess.
I mean, he wasn't planning on getting gonorrhea today, but
No, that's it. It's a day that ends in Y, so I'm not planning on getting gonorrhea. Who else has a YouTube video like Monday through Friday every day? Like, what other channel does that?
I can ask somebody. Hold on. There's a little angel on our shoulder today. Little angel on my shoulder. Hello. Are you there?
I don't think anybody does that because no one's as insane as you guys are.
We went to a restaurant. This was something out of a movie, like straight out of a movie. I'm sitting across from a guy named Josh, our friend, Josh Childs.
Yeah. Oh,
okay?
This was like Sunday?
Yeah.
Did you guys go to the same place?
No,
we didn't go to Las Palmas this time. We went somewhere that
we
different.
should never have gone. I think what he did is he looked up like cool, like maybe unknown places that.
He said friends had recommended this place.
God, those friends.
What was it called?
Shithole.
It's called. We're not going to call them out by name because we're about to say some terrible things.
So Josh takes a big bite and he's talking to me. He said he had tacos and like Aaron is eating on his food and Josh is in the middle of saying something. He goes, and he pulls 3 rounds of a hair out of his mouth. And then when the final bit comes out, it had already been like
gross.
chewed and kind of ingested.
Oh my God.
And like a pendulum on the bottom was a chunk of food and it just like pendulum swung.
Oh my God.
And he just kind of like drops it on his lap. He was like, we didn't see that. And I'm like, I don't know how you're going to, he kept going. It was a minute. So then like a beat happens and Aaron misses this.
Well, and I say I missed it, so I was like, please reenact it. And so then they reenacted it, and it was really great because these are creative people and they have a lot of fun. And
no, you are insinuating that is over exaggerating. It was a pop, 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 shingy, shingy, shingy. There was like a whole.
I didn't see it. I'll take your word for it. So I'm sitting there and I go, well, at least the food like tastes good. Like I'm enjoying, eating my food. And the moment I say that, I took a spoonful of my baked beans.
And I said, oh, is it? How is your food? Jokingly.
Yeah.
And he bites his beans.
So I take a bite of my baked beans and there is a marble-sized bone in my baked. Like it's huge. And I'm just like, okay.
An hour later, we've all consumed our food. We're talking, we're chatting. We've managed to just get through it or whatever. I go to take a final sip of my tea, which is a very large tea. And what's left is just like maybe 1.5 inches of tea at the bottom. And I see something dark. And the entire goddamn time, there was a fucking dead fly.
Oh, gross.
Right in the bottom juicy section of the tea. And I've just been sipping on its juice.
Flies are protein, though, right? Or is that crickets?
Right. Both.
No.
I mean, technically, it's all edible. I mean, but do you want to? No. And where did it come from? Was it mixed in with the ice cubes and it melted in? Was it like in the actual tea container, just like decomposing and then dropped into my, how long? Because it was at the bottom. It was like, it had to get through all the ice to get to the bottom. And it was in the good stuff too. That's where all like the sweet sugar shit is, But it's not just sugar.
But,
it's decomposing fly.
Silver linings. It didn't come through your straw, right? Like, that's the...
Is that like a poem? That's a poem. Silver linings.
It didn't come through your straw.
I'm guessing this is when I just rage.
It is. Do you want to leave the room while we listen to this?
I'm actually kind of excited to hear it again.
Okay. We'll just let it play. We'll just let it play to get there.
Do you know what it is? It's like our audience likes to hear us get mad and like really just like rip into shit.
You're not wrong.
And I feel like we need to really do that. We need to have our own like rant segment sometime.
Just
because
we're literally really angry.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear my anger again and then compare, do I still feel the same way?
We'll let it run.
Because it's been however long it's been. Did you think we would be doing this podcast for like 3 years?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you not?
Dude, I thought I'd be fired like 7 times by now.
It took until today for Danae to get fired.
Did you see that I posted that I got fired on Patreon?
No, what are you talking about?
So, okay, so the last episode, I was in it publicly bad
Oh,
news.
I was watching this when you kicked Ian off.
Yeah.
You talking about the guy that said you did him wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I saw that.
So I responded to that as the company and said she's been fired.
I didn't see the response.
Which is great because
that was Josh Zero, wasn't it? Yeah, that was Josh.
It's kind of full circle because if you've been listening from the beginning, that's the shtick, is I still haven't been fired. So I thought it'd be funny to say she's fired. Well, at that moment, we didn't know that today is our
final BTS
final
for a bit.
BTS.
Oh.
So it may actually look like Danae joined the show after a break, was in a piss poor mood, straight up kicked Ian off of the show in like tangent style, publicly said she was fired, and then we announced the show is done.